Hello students, welcome to MJC Learning, Standard 12, subject Information Technology for Science stream. We are learning the second session of chapter Advanced JavaScript. Today we are going to learn one switch statement and the for loop in the JavaScript programming language. So let's begin. Before starting with programming, let me revise some of the JavaScript programming concepts from standard 11th. We have already learnt about variables, the introductory part of JavaScript programming. What is a variable? See, it is a basic unit of storage in a JavaScript program. That means it is a container to store information. It is a container for the information you want to store. So let's recollect some rules. How to declare variables. A variable name should consist of alphabets, digits and underscore character only. Alphabets, digits and underscore character. Apart from these three, no other character is allowed in a variable name. So a variable must start with an alphabet. Start with an alphabet. Variable names are case sensitive. Either you put capital or small. Decide how you're going to use it. It should not contain blank space or a special symbol except the underscore. Standard keywords are not allowed as variable names. The keywords which are already inbuilt defined in JavaScript, they cannot be used as variable names. Variable is newly to be user defined. And variable name can be limited up to 255 characters. This is the declaration part. VAR is the starting part. So variables are declared and initialized with keyword VAR. So you have VAR and the variable name. So here I have two variables, X and Y. So we write variable X comma Y. And when you have initialized values to the variables, then they are called as VAR. A is equal to something and B is equal to something. These are the values which are initialized to the variable. Here they are just declared and terminated with a semicolon for the program to proceed. So variables are declared and initialized values. And variable name is declared with the keyword VAR. Next, coming to data types in JavaScript. We have more than 4 data types, but here we will be discussing the main 4 which we require for programming. The number, string, boolean and the null. JavaScript provides data types to store and use different types of values. So first one is the number type. This stores both whole numbers and decimal point numbers. Whole number means integers and decimal point we say floating point numbers. So number type stores both whole numbers and floating point numbers, and it holds positive and negative values also. So here if you take example, variable A is equal to 5 or B is equal to 13.6. This is an integer, this is a floating point number. Both you can consider for initialization. Second is the string type. This is any text enclosed in double quotes. See these double quotes? So here I'm saying variable X is equal to any text which is enclosed in double quotes, or variable string is equal to 12 signs. This is enclosed in double quotes. So strings are used for storing text and they must be enclosed in double quotes always. Third is the Boolean type. It represents two values, true and false. So we use conditional and logical operators here. For true, it will be 1. For false, it will be 0. So either of the condition is to be referred. So here we use condition and logical operators. Less than, greater than, is equal to, not is equal to, less than is equal to, and logical operators and, or, not for Boolean expressions. And finally is the fourth data type, that is null. This means empty or unknown values or which does not exist. Some of these data types we will be using in standard 12th also now when we are programming. So this was about the variable declaration and the different types of data used in programming. Next, we will see how we used to write a JavaScript program, the general syntax of it. So starting with exclamation doc type HTML, HTML head title. Normally how you start HTML program, same way you start. JavaScript program syntax, close title, close head, body. Now here we used to write the HTML statements when we learned the first chapter, web designing. Now when it comes to JavaScript, we will be enclosing the script tag in the body tag to write the script. So you have to say script tag. Script language is equal to JavaScript. Or you can say script type is equal to text slash JavaScript. So this is the starting part. So this embeds JavaScript into the HTML code. And then you display the statement. If you want to just display something, you can say document.write. If you are making calculations also, you can make with arithmetic or any other types of operators. And if you are writing loops also, you have to write it within this tag. So in the script and the close script will be your JavaScript statements. And then close the body and close the HTML. So here we will be using script tag with the language attribute and JavaScript as the value. So this is the general syntax of a JavaScript program. We have also learned some built-in functions for calculations, the parse int, parse float, the prompt when you want input value from the user at the time of program execution. That prompt function we will be using. Alert function which displays the alert pop-up box with the OK button which displays some message. That alert box we will be using. So these are some of the inbuilt functions we will be using in the JavaScript program. So now let's come to the switch statement in the JavaScript program. We have learned if and if else in standard 11th last year. That was for decision making. If not this, else that statement will be executed. It was like this. So that was for decision making. But when you have uh, less conditions, if else is used. Here now we are using the switch statement. This is used to perform different actions based on different conditions. You will have many conditions. So we are not using if else. It will increase the size of your code. So much lines of code you will have to write with various else statements. Instead of that, we are using the switch statement when we are having so many decisions to be executed. So it is performing different actions based on different conditions. You can use the switch statement to select one of many code blocks to be executed. When there are n number of test cases or conditions to be checked, that time we are using the switch statement. In JavaScript, it can accept numbers, text, values and Boolean values also. So switch statement can be used instead of if-else construct to implement a sequence of parallel alternatives. The switch expression is evaluated once. These are some of the features of it. The value of the expression is compared with the values of each case. When we take a program example, you will understand what is this. If there is a match, the associated block of code is executed. There are many conditions. If the X, Y, Z, three blocks are there, if the X code is matching your condition, then the break will take your control out. These two will not be executed. It's like that. So if there is a match in that particular condition, that particular block is executed. And if there is no match, the default code block is executed. It is like the last one, the default. So if X, Y both are not executed, it will directly come to the default block. That is the last condition which is to be executed. So this is the syntax of it. Switch expression. Here you are going to write what is to be tested. And in the curly brackets, you have to write all the cases. Case 1, what should be done? Break. Case 2, what should be done? Break. And last is the default case. So this statement evaluates the expression and looks for the value among the case constants listed. If the value is found, then statement in the list are executed. Else there's an optional default where the program will branch. If there is a match in value, that block of code with the case is executed. And this break statement helps us come out of the switch case. Otherwise, it executes all the rest cases. Say I am giving case X. Okay, one statement. If I don't put break here, with X, Y also will be executed. So there will be a confusion in the output. All the rest of the cases which are following X, those also will be executed. So when I take only this part into consideration, this block, it should execute that block and it should come out. So after every control, we are giving a break. So if there's no break, then the control comes out. So this default is like else, just for the user to display a message for incorrect or the wrong output. So if all these are not executed, the control will come to the default, and in default you can give a statement, a message for incorrect or the wrong output. So let's see an example program on the switch case next. Doc type HTML, HTML head title you have to write. After the body, there is the script. Okay. Script language is equal to JavaScript. You write, I have just given the script tag. That also will execute your program. Variable day is equal to 4. So here I have declared only one variable called as day. Now this program is doing what? Whatever number I say that particular day it is going to display. So switch day. What is the expression? You are finding a day. So you have to say switch day. Open the curly bracket and write all the cases. If case is 1, it will display alert. Today is Sunday. Break. So if really it is a Sunday, this day is matching with the number, then only this block will be executed. Rest all will be not executed. Break means the program will come out of here and finally it will display the alert, whatever is shown to displayed by you or shown here. Case 2. Now here I have given 4. So 1 will not be executed. It will go to 2. Case 2. Alert. Today it's Monday. Case is not 2. 3. Today it is Tuesday. Break. When it comes to 4, the day is matching here. You are matching the day character. It's matching with 4. So alert, today is Wednesday. Okay. So here it will display the output. Today is Wednesday. When you say okay, it will be done. So here the program will come out of the loop. It will not execute the fifth one because the match is found. If it was 6, then it would have come here and the message would be today is Friday. And if I say 8 here, there are no 8 cases. So it would go to the default and display invalid day. So this way you have to display. So here I have shown day is equal to 4. The value is a integer here. Okay. And then close the script, close the body and close the HTML. So this is the switch part. Now, if you take this function, get day function in the switch, okay, here you display variable day, and if you say get day, that get day will take the day which is on your system. Here you see on the desktop, the date and time is displayed in the right corner. Whatever is that day on which you are executing this program, that day will be taken. So here I need not give any case number from here. It will take the day from the system. Okay, so that function also you can use here. So here I have used values. Now next I will give the text value. Okay, here day is equal to 4. See the next program. Now I said variable day is equal to Wednesday. I have taken a text value. Rest switch day. So here I have taken the match of the value text. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So when it reaches Wednesday, it will say alert, third weekday. Okay, rest all is writing same case Sunday. This is a text entry. So I am enclosing it in double quotes. In the earlier program, it was a integer. So integers are not enclosed in double quotes. See, I am applying the rules from the variable which I have done in the third slide. So here I have taken a variable with the text value. So here you say Sunday, Monday, and if you put W here in capitals, put W here in capital. It should match exactly. So when it goes through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it will go for a break. And when it reaches Wednesday, there is a match here. So it will display this alert in the box. Third weekday. This output will be given and the program will come out. So these things are not going to be executed. Okay. Now here in the next program, same program I'll execute, but here I'll make a mistake. Wednesday. It is ES. Now it is AS. So this word is not found in the cases. So directly it will go to the default. So whatever is not in the expression, not found as a match to the expression, then it will directly go to the default. That is the last one. Default alert invalid day. That means that day is not matching. So it will display this output. Invalid day. Okay, so these were the 3 programs which are executed using the switch case. So here you have to learn the syntax properly, how you write, how you declare the variable, how you specify the expression, how you write the text value, how you write the integer values and so on, and how you display this. Remember to put a semicolon. This is a separate statement and break is a separate statement. You can write it here also. You can write it below the statement also. That is not important. Semicolon is important. That means this is another line. If this semicolon is not put, the syntax becomes wrong. Okay. So this is how the switch case statement is to be written and executed. Follow the syntax always. Next is looping in JavaScript. While creating programming logic, we need to sometimes execute some statements repeatedly. They are called as loops. So here looping is also called as iteration. This refers to the execution of statements of the code for a fixed number of times or till the condition is satisfied. So there are three types of loops in JavaScript which we'll be learning: the for loop, while loop, and the do while loop. Out of that, today we will be learning only the for loop with its syntax and some programs. For loop executes a block of code a specified number of times. So it will iterate the same thing again and again. If I say it should iterate 10 times, it will iterate 10 times only. 11th time, the condition becomes false. Condition is not satisfied. So the loop comes out. So there is a iteration here. Again and again, it will execute the same number of statements which are specified. So for loop creates a loop that is executed as long as a condition is true. It will only stop when the condition becomes false. For loop is used when you know in advance the number of times the script would run. You are specifying the first and the last value. So till it reaches the last value, it will iterate the loop. So here there is the syntax: for initialization, checking, and incrementing or decrementing. So here you have to initialize the value. So if I say variable is equal to a, for a is equal to 1. So a is starting with 1. Okay. A is less than or is equal to what is the end value? 10, 20 or n. Till n it will execute. And then either it will increment or decrement. We had increment and decrement operators studied last year. I plus plus, I plus is equal to 2. Those operator formats you have to apply here. And then it will be the statement to be repeated again and again. That has to be put in the brackets, curly brackets. So initializing means assigning the initial value, the starting value to the variable, which executes only once. This is the first one, so it executes only once, and then it goes for check every time. Okay, so this executes only once and then the condition is checked. The loop will execute statements till condition becomes true. When it is false, loop is exited as the remaining program is executed. So here we have the first program, odd numbers. Odd numbers. So here there is a program of odd numbers starting exclamation doc type HTML. HTML head title you give the name of the program only. This program we are writing as program in JavaScript to find the odd or to display the odd numbers. So title is given, title close, head close, body. This part is the JavaScript part. So here you have script language is equal to JavaScript. I have declared only one variable here. This you have to decide in advance how many variables you want to declare here. So here I have declared var. Now for what is the program here? Odd numbers. I want to display all the odd numbers in the range 1 to 10. So initial value will be 1 and it will start at 1 and end at 9 because 10 is not an odd number. So the checking will be till 10. So this last value you have to specify here. So for I is equal to 1 semicolon, I is less than or is equal to 10. If you are giving n number here, then you have to declare it as n, and you have to say a prompt also. What will be the value of n? The program should not go in an infinite loop. Okay, it will get stuck. So you have to specify the first and the last value. So if you are not directly typing the last value here, declare one more variable as comma n here and give a prompt for n. So every time you execute the program, it will ask you enter the value of the last number which will be checked with I. Okay, so for I is equal to 1, I is less than or is equal to 10, I plus is equal to 2. I plus is equal to 2 means I is equal to I plus 2. So I will be incremented by 2. I put plus, so it will be incremented by 2. So this will be the checking part. And what will be displayed? That statement you have to put here. Now to display any statement or any text number in JavaScript, what we write? Document dot write. Okay, document or write line is there, ln, that will automatically take you to the next line. Document dot write, if you are putting, then you have to give the break, otherwise it will be horizontal sequence. 1 will come here, 3 will come here, 5 will come here, and so on. I have displayed 1, then 3 below, then below 3, 5. This is a sequence, so I have to put a break. That means the next number should come on the next line, and all the tags are to be enclosed in double quotes. So break you have to give, comma, and plus I. Plus is to take the value from the memory. It will access it. So what is the value of I first here? First I is equal to 1. This expression will be executed only once. See, I cleared the theory in the previous slide. So I is equal to 1. What will be the first value? 1 here. Next, it will go for checking. 1 is less than 10. Yes. Okay, so it will increment 1 by 1 plus 2. Next value becomes 3. So it will display document dot write 3 here. 3 is come. Now what is I? 3. 3 is less than 10? Yes. 3 plus 2, 5. So it will display 5 here. Okay, next will be 7. Then will be 9. So it is 9 is less than or is equal to 10? Yes. 9 plus 2, 11. 11 will not be displayed because 11 is not a, or 11 is not less than 10. So it will stop the program here. Though it is no, and 11 is an odd number, but it will not be executed because we have specified the last number till 10. So it will check from 1 to 10 only. So the condition when becomes false, the loop will be exited. Okay, so it will display only these numbers. So if you put in the bracket only plus I, no double quotes, only plus I, then it will give you the horizontal result 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And if you give a break in double quotes, then the next value will come below the other. Okay, so this was about the odd numbers program. Now, as I told you, here I have specified the last number. Next, let's see the same program using the prompt. So only thing will be here, these two. Script language is equal to JavaScript. Variable I, one for the initial number and one for the last number. N is equal to the prompt function. Prompt, enter the number. See this? This is called as a prompt window. It displays OK and cancel buttons. So here it will ask you, enter the number. You have to specify the number here. So if 9 is the last number, it will check I is less than or is equal to 9. If I say 10 here, it will be I is less than or is equal to 10. So whatever you specify, the value of n, that will be put in this n. So first value is for I is equal to 1. Okay. Second will be I plus is equal to 2. So I will be incremented by 2. So it will be 3. 3 is less than 9. Yes, it will be displayed. Then I is 3. 3 will be incremented by 2, 5. 5 is less than 9, yes, display. Then 7 is less than 9, yes, display. Till 9 you have to check, n is constant, okay, 9. 9 is less than or is equal to 9, yes, 9 is equal to 9. Okay, so it will be displayed. Then it becomes 11. 11 is less than or is equal to 9, no. So the loop will be exited, and this will be the output of your program. Okay, so here I have given the same program using the prompt. I am not specifying the last number, only the initial value I am specifying. So like this, you have to alter your program depending upon the question you are told. If you are told generate the odd numbers till 10, that means you have to write the program like the earlier slide. And if you are told to generate the odd numbers till n is up to you. You have to take any value. Okay, so program will be written like this. Next, one more example is we will take the table of 3. How to generate the table of 3. So what will be the logic? You take anything. 3 tens are 30, yeah, 3 twenties are 60, you take up to any. This value, initial, and this is decided by the user. Accordingly, you have to say. So here I have taken for I is 3. First value is 3. Okay, I am checking till 30. And each, to get the next number, you have to increment it by 3 every time. 3 plus 3, 6. 6 plus 3, 9. 9 plus 3, 12. So this logic you should know what it is. Accordingly, you put the value. In the earlier program, we had put 2 here because every alternate number used to be odd. Now we have the multiple of 3. So it will be plus 3 here. If it is 4 table, it will be 4 here. Okay, and so on. So this logic you should apply depending on what type of program you are told to write. So for, again, initialization, checking, and incrementing or decrementing. Okay, in the bracket you display the variable I here with a plus sign. So here it will be for I3. 3 is displayed. Okay, I is less than or is equal to 30. 3 is less than 30. Yes. Okay, so it will be incremented by 3. 3 plus 3, 6. 6 will be displayed. Now I is 6. 6 is less than 30. Yes. Okay. So the next number is incremented. 6 plus 3, 9. It will check for 9. Okay. 9 is less than 30. Yes. Then 9, 10, 11, 12. Then 12 is less than 30. Like this, it will go on checking and it will display one number, multiple of 3 till it reaches 30. When 30, I is 27. Okay, 27 is displayed. Next is 20, 29, 30. 30 is equal to 30. Then it will display 30 here. Condition is satisfied. If it was only less than, then it would display till 9. I have said equal to sign also. So when it reaches 30, it will stop. Because next number is 33. That is not less than 30. So the loop will be exited. Okay, and this will be the result of it. So in this way, we have to execute the for loop programs, and the switch statement with the multiple cases you have to solve like I have shown in the 3-4 slides back. So with some solved programs, you can execute these solved programs and see by yourself. The output you have to see by yourself how it is coming. You change some things in that and see how they are to be altered. Okay, so this was about the switch statement and the for loop. In the next session, we will learn about more loops. Till then, keep learning. Thank you.